TV in London.
Presentation in London. Live stream with confidence.
Warning. The following program may contain graphics and video images that some viewers may find disturbing and traumatizing. Some of this violent content may be too graphic and intense for some people. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. NuMedia TV.
This is a special announcement on our rights to the choice of royalty-free tunes in all of our videos and podcasts. It has become a common practice occurring or appearing so frequently on Facebook with claims of copyright infringement in many of our live streams and video content. Frank Bello and the team at NuMedia TV would like to state unequivocally that Frank Bello and NuMedia TV have all legal rights to use over 700 royalty-free tunes in all of our videos and live streams and have not infringed any intellectual property rights. Some other tunes that may be used in some of our videos were also fully paid for on the Movavi video editor software program and another paid-up monthly subscription on Restream.io. Proof of purchase and delivery of the over 700 royalty-free tunes can be found at Sounds Best Delivery at Shopify.com, delivered and downloaded. Date of purchase, Tuesday the 12th of January 2021. Time of purchase, 17:17 hours in London.
Fair Use Act Disclaimer. Fair Use Copyright Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as nonprofit, criticism, news reporting, comment, teaching, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Content disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this media or comments on this channel are those of the speakers or authors, and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos and audios may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. This channel's owner claims no copyright to said content. The broadcaster of this channel cannot be held accountable to the copyrighted content. The broadcaster of this channel is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify the accuracy of such information, but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this channel.
Yes, hi, good evening. Good evening all, good evening my beautiful people, good evening world, good evening all the way from London. I'm still your man, your host. Today is Sunday, the 21st day of January 2024. And by the time currently in London, whilst I am live streaming, it is 1913. You are all welcome to another great day, another great show that we're going to pump out some unique stuff, some unique digital contents that will nourish your inner mind. Yes, I salute you all, and I welcome each and every one of you as you join us on the live broadcast. Taiwo Sadiku, good evening. I'm pretty sure the others will equally join us along the line. Yeah, if this is your first time on this great channel, please don't forget to like the page, subscribe, and then follow us from whichever of the social media feeds that you prefer to watch the live stream. I'm yours and truly, Frank Bello. We're going to do it the way we normally do it. And what we want to talk about today is another eye-opener for you guys. I want to open up your eyes into seeing some of those things that you were unable to see. Indeed, those things that you were unable to see. You have quite a lot that you just cannot see. But I'm here, seriously here, to guide you through. Because on this channel, we try as much as possible to feed you with unique information that will put you where we believe you have to be. Information that will nourish you, that will prepare your inner mind and your inner soul. Information that will get you thinking. On this platform, we just don't talk at the top of our head. Good evening, and I salute you and I welcome you once again. Alaji Osholade Alakufo Bababadon. You're welcome. What we hope and I intend to talk about with you today I've been working on this for a while as well. Seriously. I have been working on this subject for a while. We want to talk about Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. So many of you perhaps don't know the differences between a state, a nation, and a country. For me to be able to deliver this very amicably, let me first of all bring this interlude in. Enjoy it whilst I send some information round. Here it is.
Ìlú Àjàpadà Àkúrẹ́ olóyè mẹ́kún ìlú Aṣọ́dẹ̀kúyẹdẹ ìlú tó ń ṣọ́ fún wàrà àti fún oyin ìlú tó kún fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ àlùmọ́nì Àkúrẹ́ ìlú olókìkí. Ìlú Àjàpadà Àkúrẹ́ olóyè mẹ́kún ìlú Aṣọ́dẹ̀kúyẹdẹ ìlú tó ń ṣọ́ fún wàrà àti fún oyin ìlú tó kún fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àlùmọ́nì Àkúrẹ́ ìlú olókìkí. Ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ Yorùbá ló fi yé wa pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá o. Ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ Àkúrẹ́ ló fi yé wa pé ọmọ Odùduwà ló fàdé tiwa l'Àkúrẹ́. Ọmọ wa ọ̀tọ̀kùn ló fàdé tiwa o. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ká má kúrò ká mú tẹ̀gbọ́n kúrò. Àkúrẹ́ kọ́ mi mọ́ra. Wọ́n ní láì sọ̀rọ̀ jù, Àkúrẹ́ fẹ́ràn rálejò. Tó ní mẹ́ta lẹ́jọ́, Àkúrẹ́ ń bá ṣe. Ìlọsíwájú tún wà ló jẹ́ wọ́n lógún. Inú mi dùn, ayọ̀ mi kún. Inú mi dùn bá mi nílẹ̀ yìí ọ̀rẹ́. Níbi ká gbàgbẹ́. Ibi ká wọṣọ ìbílẹ̀ Àkúrẹ́ ń ṣe bẹ́bẹ́. Ibi ètò ọrọ̀ ajé Àkúrẹ́ àgbẹ̀yìn. Ọ̀gá l'Àkúrẹ́ jẹ́ níbi ètò ẹ̀kọ́ o. Ọmọwé ń bẹ nílẹ̀ yìí ọmọ wí. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ń bẹ nílẹ̀ wa wọ́n wá o. Oníṣòwò ń bẹ l'Àkúrẹ́. Wọ́n bẹ́sẹ̀ wọ́n pọ̀jọ́ burata. Àwọn ọlọ́pọlọ pípé onímọ̀ràn tata tó ṣiṣẹ́ rajé tí wọ́n ṣòwò tán jèrè. Èèyàn gidi ń bẹ nílẹ̀ yìí ó mọ wí. Èèyàn pàtàkì ń bẹ l'Àkúrẹ́ ó wà ó. Àkúrẹ́ ríra wọn lóde. Wọ́n ríra wọn ní ìdálẹ̀. Wọ́n dàbí ọmọ ìyá. Wọ́n kóra mọ́ra, wọ́n fìfẹ́ bára wọn lò. Èèyàn gidi ń bẹ l'Àkúrẹ́ ó mọ wí. Èèyàn pàtàkì ń bẹ nílẹ̀ yìí ó wọ́n wà ó. Àkúrẹ́ nílé àti lókè òkun. Ọmọ Àkúrẹ́ nílé àti lókè òkun. Ẹ jẹ́ ká nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa, ká fìfẹ́ bára wa, ká fìbọn ṣọ̀kan àti gbogbo Àkúrẹ́ ga.
Yes, welcome back. You are welcome back. Yes, exactly what we want to talk about this great Sunday evening, Sunday, the 21st day of January 2024, as you can see right in front of your screen, is Nigeria between a state, a nation, and a country. Trust me, and I want you to trust me. This topic is going to open up your eyes into seeing Nigeria differently. But let me ask you, is Nigeria a state? Neither is Nigeria a nation, nor a country. 3. State. 2. A nation. 3. A country. Which of them do you think seriously Nigeria is? Have you ever thought about those 3 key letter words? State, nation, and a country. That is exactly what I want to break down this evening. Many people probably will not appreciate the quality. I repeat, many people perhaps will not appreciate the quality of my gospel, what I am preaching, and what I strongly believe. Nigeria, between a state, a nation, and a country. That's exactly what we want to talk to ourselves about this evening. I'm going to break everything down into its individual components for you to see and for you to digest straight into your inner mind. I've got many other things that I have for you. Omolara Omibeku Orowale, good evening. Let me open up the chat. If you're joining us for the first time, or you are one of our avid regulars, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and then hit that notification bell and check out all streams so that anytime a new video or when we're live streaming is up, I don't need to send you guys any information. You get notified almost immediately. Rashid Atolagbe Aro, good evening to you from Chicago. I saw Omolara Omibeku Orowale, good evening. Omolara Omibeku Orowale, you said Nigeria is a country. You will see everything yourself. A country? By the time I break this presentation down into its individual components, you will make up your mind. Again, you said the problems with Nigeria is leadership problems. Where is that coming from? It's still boiling down to the fact that Nigeria, between a state, a nation, or a country, you said Nigeria is a country. By the time you flow with me, you, Omolara, you will see Nigeria differently. Taiwo Banuso, good evening. You said Nigeria is a geographical expression. We're going there. You are too quick. We're going there. Nigeria is a geographical expression. I want you to please underscore that word of yours. Geographical. You probably got that from Chief Obafemi Awolowo's quote. Nigeria is just a mere geographical expression. It is an amalgamated country which we hope will be restructured soon or divided to many nations. That's interesting. You will see tonight things differently. Alaja Lola, good evening. Yes, Taiwo Banuso, I've not seen you on the stream for a while. Please share the stream. It is extremely important. And that is the only topic I want to treat tonight. Nigeria, between a state, nation, and a country. Anibolaji, good evening. Greetings to you. Please share it. It's a very important topic, a topic that's been closed to me for a long time. And I think I pumped out some of the stuff you're about to hear onto a presentation that I was commissioned to present to a gathering headed by Gani Adams. Although they gave me the topic, but I delivered the subject very eloquently in the Zoom meeting. In fact, Gani Adams offered to pay me for the presentation, but I suggested they should just give whatever they want to give to me to the charity. What matters is my love for my race, the Yoruba race, and my love to humanity. Love. Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. Guys, let's go there, shall we? Let's go there. I've got those slides sorted out for you. And the very first one, here it is. Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. Please comment. Báwo ni Surulere? Thank you so much. Please share the stream. Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. Omolara Umibeku Uruwale said, Nigeria is a country. Keep that close to your chest and watch this. The second one is coming your way. This is the intro. And here, I give you a very small, short definition as introduction. And I said, the terms country, state, sovereign state, nation, and nation state. I'm confusing you now. The terms: number 1, country; 2, state; 3, sovereign state; 4, nation; and then 5, nation state. These 5 descriptions are often used interchangeably. Yes, they are. But then and again, I said, there is a big difference between the 5 of them. How many of you have you ever thought of the fact that there is a country, there is a state, there is a sovereign state, there is a nation, and nation state? But they are used interchangeably. But then and again, we don't have significant difference in them. You've never thought of it. Country, state, sovereign state. You've heard country, you've heard state, you've heard sovereign state. Perhaps some people, they've not even heard of sovereign state. They've heard of nation, but not nation state. Take note of those 5 interchangeable differences in those descriptions. Take note. Next one. Nigeria. A state? Is Nigeria a state? What is a state? What is a state? A state is a territory. Did you hear this? Get this straight. A state is a territory with its own institutions and populations. In red, territory is underlined, institutions underlined, populations underlined, and in bold red. I've got reasons for those. Is Nigeria a state? Looking at that definition, that says a state is a territory with its own institutions and populations. Did you get it? What about a sovereign state? Is Nigeria a sovereign state? A sovereign state is a state with its own institutions and populations. Sovereign state in red, populations in red. A sovereign state is a state with its own institutions and populations that has a permanent population, territory, and guess what? Government. A sovereign state must also have the right and capacity to make treaties and other agreements with other states. Which one is Nigeria? Is Nigeria a state or a sovereign state? Now, Yoruba agitators, perhaps, they want to come here and pick, tapping into the information I am dishing out. Omolara Umibeku Uruwale, you said you have never heard of sovereign state. That is why you are here on this platform. And that's why your eyes will be open up into seeing things that you have never seen. And that was why I was angry with a lot of those Yoruba agitators. They messed up, they destroyed the Yoruba nation agitation's journey. I don't give a damn about them. You have just confirmed you've never heard of a sovereign state. Now, I started with a state. I started with this. With that. With that. Hold on, guys. I started with a state. With that. A state is a territory with its own institutions and populations. A state. Now, consider Nigeria as a boundary. And within the same boundary, you have states. Some people will say Nigeria is a state. So it's a state with its own territory, with its own institutions, and its own populations. And then we moved on to a sovereign state. A sovereign state is a state with its own institutions and populations that has a permanent populations, territory, and government. It must also have the right and capacity to make treaties. A sovereign state must also have the rights and capacity to make treaties and other agreements with other states. What about a nation? A nation is a large group of people who inhabit a specific territory and are connected by history, culture, or another commonality. Red, nation. In red, nation. In red, territory. In red, history. In red, culture. And in magenta, connected. Again, in magenta, commonality. Is Nigeria a state, nation, or a country? Now, picture what a nation is and look at the description of a nation. A nation is a large group of people who inhabit a specific territory and are connected together by history, by culture, or another commonality. The Yorubas are the Yoruba people, a state, a nation, or a country? I'm even confusing you more. Guys, please share it. From that last slide. Where exactly will you guys put Yoruba nation? Is Yoruba nation a state or a nation or a country? Looking at a full description of a nation here. Is Nigeria a nation? Or a state or a country? Let's carry on. What about a nation state? You've never heard of a nation state. A nation state is a cultural group that is a nation, that is also a state and may, in addition, be a sovereign state. Is Nigeria a nation state? I'm only asking, but it will get clearer to you. And I ask, the question is, Nigeria a state or a sovereign state or a nation or a nation state? Which of these do you think Nigeria belongs? Please comment. Taiwo Banuso, you said Yoruba is a nation in waiting. Omolara Omibeku Urowale, Yoruba nation is supposed to be a nation. Again, Taiwo Banuso, you said Nigeria is not a nation. Taiwo Banuso, you earlier posted, you said Nigeria is a geographical expression from the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo's statement. Omolara Omebeku Orowale, you said, Nigeria is sovereign state, you'd think. Cool. Nigeria is a sovereign state. Let's go there and let us examine this. Now, here, I questioned Nigeria. Qualities. What are the qualities of Nigeria as a nation or a state? Qualities. I questioned the qualities of Nigeria as a state, a nation, and a country. And I said, are all terms, state, nation, and country, are all terms that describe groups of people who live in the same place and have a great deal in common. But while states and sovereign states are political entities, nations and countries might or might not be. So is Nigeria, I'm asking, and please comment, let me engage you and let us engage ourselves. The question is Nigeria a state, a nation, or a country? And that's the topic. Between a state, a nation, and a country. Which one exactly does Nigeria belongs? Which one? Guys, please share this stream. It is extremely important. Which one do you think Nigeria belongs? You're still not sure. Okay. I'm still questioning. Still questioning Nigeria. And here, I said, with the map of Nigeria in black, there's a meaning attached to that. A sovereign state. A sovereign state, sometimes called an independent state, has the following qualities I'm going to show you. Not this one. Yeah, a sovereign state has the following qualities. Okay? Let's come into this. I think this is the one. One. Yeah. A sovereign state, number one, is a space or territory that has internationally recognized boundaries. Did you get that? Now look at the boundaries of Nigeria. Who created those boundaries? the British created the boundaries called Nigeria. That dated back to the Berlin Conference, when both the British, the French, the Spanish, the Belgium, all carved out their individual boundaries, and then they call them colonies. The scramble for Africa through colonization. So the Western superpower created sovereign state because they created those states such as Nigeria, Togo, Republic of Benin, Ghana, Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Mozambique, Congo. But because they created those territory, so they were internationally recognized boundaries, and Nigeria is one classic example of a territory imagined by the British colonial rulers that then internationally recognized the boundaries called Nigeria. And that was how Nigeria became a sovereign state. Am I making sense to a handful of you? You can clearly see that, can't you? And then here, a sovereign state. Number two, are people who live there on an ongoing basis. So the British as a classic example, because I'm using Nigeria as a classic example of a sovereign state and a boundary or a territory. So the people that were molded together as a sovereign state, they've been living together on an ongoing basis. 3. Regulations governing foreign and domestic trade. A sovereign state will regulate the governing of foreign and domestic trade. Was that the issue with the question of Nigeria and many Anglophone and Francophone countries? English-speaking countries in Africa and French-speaking countries in Africa. Minus Ethiopia. Ethiopia was the only country that was never colonized by any nation. Sovereign state. When you become a sovereign state, a territory of people who live on an ongoing basis, that means that territory has got the right to regulate governing. They will regulate foreign and domestic trade within that territory. I want to engage you guys. Alaja Lola, you said absolutely. Anibolaji, you, and then Taiwo Banuso, yes, you said yes, you are. That I'm making sense. But you guys, you are not sharing the stream. When you share it, I know. Nigeria, between a state, a nation, and a country. That's exactly what we are talking about today, Sunday, the 21st day of January, 2024. How about this? The fourth one. A sovereign state has the ability to issue legal tenders that is recognized across boundaries and in all countries. Yoruba nation agitators, they've never given birth to a Yoruba nation that will have the ability to issue legal tender that is recognized across boundaries and in all countries. Security documents. But they kept on fooling you. Whilst Nigeria is questionable as a sovereign state, but the Yoruba agitators were unable to provide in a clear frame of mind their argument for a country of its own or a nation of its own inside a sovereign state. Am I making sense? Am I making sense at all? Am I making sense? You see, you will never see those hopeless and ruthless Yoruba agitators coming here to learn. And that was why I said they were all fraudsters, including Professor Banji Akitoye. All fraudsters. And then they then brought in another fraudster, Dupe Onitiri, who then claimed she's Dupe Onitiri Abiola, a prostitute of MKO Abiola. I don't care what anybody's going to say. Then a lot of people that thought, oh, we can make money out of Yoruba nation. See? A sovereign state has the ability to issue legal tenders that is recognized across boundaries and in all countries. A sovereign state. So that brings us to the terms that Nigeria as a contraption is a sovereign state. Yeah? That brings me into conclusion that Nigeria as a contraption is a sovereign state. Okay. 5. A sovereign state is an internationally recognized government that provides, guess, an internationally recognized government that provides public services and police power and has the right to make treaties, the right to wage a war, and to take other actions on behalf of its people. Again, Nigeria, questionable. When you look at all this, will you consider Nigeria as a sovereign state? Yes, Nigeria, as it was molded by territorial boundaries by the British, is a sovereign state because Nigeria has got that internationally recognized government that sits in place. And that internationally recognized government provides public services, yes, provides police power, yes, and Nigeria has the right to make treaties, yes. Do they have the right to wage war? Yes. Because of the territorial boundary molded by the British, that was why civil war broke out in Nigeria. Because the Nigerian government waged war against the secession of Biafra. Does Nigeria take other actions on behalf of its people? Yes. If Nigeria wants to punish its own people, they take away all their privileges and their rights. How do they do that? They've taken your privileges and your rights through ideological subversion, the destruction of your educational system. Let me remind you. Let me bring how they destroyed everything about you guys through ideological subversion. Watch this.
Several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions.
Did you hear that?
In the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages.
Yep.
The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students.
Did you get that?
In the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system.
You see?
You are stuck with them.
You're stuck.
You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who
now we see ideological subversion. You can now see that the Nigerian government, a sovereign state, they've used ideological subversion to even destroy their own educational system. You've never thought about that, haven't you? You have never thought about it. So Nigeria, with that question mark, is it a state, a nation, or a country? Is a territorial boundary formed for a purpose by the British colonialist. Now, let me bring in this other video so that you can see the extent of demoralization. I think I've got it somewhere here. I think I have it somewhere here. Pop. Whilst, yeah, now, it's not, this problem is not just only in Nigeria, by the way. It is all across the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. Now, look at this video first. Look at this one. This. Watch this.
Yes, right now I'm deceased.
You are deceased.
Yes, sir.
May your soul rest in peace.
Sorry, sir.
Are you deceased?
I'm not deceased.
Why is it that you are not deceased?
Because I'm not a doctor.
Eh?
I'm not a doctor.
You are not a doctor. Who is a deceased person?
A deceased person is the doctor who can take care of the sick or the sick omulwadde.
Are you deceased?
Oh, I'm not deceased, man.
Yes.
I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
You are not a criminal.
Yes.
Are you deceased?
Yes. Yes.
For how long have you been deceased?
Since I born.
Man, what shows that you are deceased?
Because I have this one. What is this one?
Beards.
Beards.
You have beards.
Hey. I have kids.
Hey, you have kids. Are you deceased?
No! I am very deceased.
Who is a deceased person?
A deceased person is a man who has very much power.
Yes.
Very man enough. Hey, a deceased. A deceased.
So why is it that 99% of Ugandans are deceased?
Don't you hear everywhere? People eat mirondo. People eat a lot of money. Some gaya mayirungi. And this bubunanka ni buno bwalanga kumbucha. Take this. Rubalula, take this. So that is why people are becoming so much deceased. Yes.
Are you deceased?
I'm deceased. I'm deceased.
For how long have you been deceased?
When I was born.
He was born deceased, up to now he's still deceased. Is it good to be deceased?
Yeah.
So you're deceased?
Yes, I'm deceased.
Are you proud to be deceased?
Of course.
Yeah. What shows that you are deceased?
Very many.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
Sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm sir. Sir.
What is your name?
My name is Kabagoza Brian.
How are you, sir?
I'm sir.
Are you deceased?
Yes. Yes.
Are you deceased?
Yes,
For how long have you? Give me 4 people in Uganda who are deceased.
Spice Diana.
Spice Diana is deceased?
Yes, and Baba Waini. And also Museveni.
Hey, Museveni is deceased.
Yes.
Why is Museveni deceased?
I told you to have a...
Museveni is deceased.
Yes.
We see that 99% of Ugandans are now deceased. Is it good?
It's good.
Why is it good to be deceased?
The country can be okay.
Yes. When someone becomes deceased, where do they take that person?
They take those person to police post or to the prison, which is bad. Others they put it to the Nalufenya, which is very bad. Yes.
Are you sure you are deceased?
Yes.
What shows that you are deceased?
Just
What happens when
That is the damaged ideological subversion has got its grip across all black African countries. That is the problem. Classic example, Uganda. as a case study. Now, if I bring in further case studies for you from the Nigerian concept, have a look at this. Have a look at this.
Okay, may we know you? Okay, this appears to be the only school in Danjumbo village.
Exactly. Yes. It's the only primary school and the only school in Danjumbo community.
Okay, but does the condition of the school disturb you? Does it give you cause for worry?
Cause for a serious worry. Even the school was closed down, and then we fought back for the school to start again.
Okay.
But now the community is making every effort to restructure this place.
Okay.
I even give a metal door to change in the principal, the headmaster's office to avoid rules coming in to steal.
Okay.
So, though the major problem we have for now is the house is divided. We're in court.
Okay.
If not, this is our main focus.
Okay, but looking at the school facility, the buildings are in a state of dilapidation.
Yeah.
The school is not fenced. The infrastructure is in a very bad state. Doesn't the government not supposed to do something about this?
The government is not doing anything for us. We are the ones that the one you have seen is our own effort.
It's all a community effort.
And
Okay.
we even are trying to even get a football field for them. And also we are seeking, if you look at from this Baningo to Greens, over Greens, there's no secondary school, only primary schools. We're quite, they're not concerned.
Okay.
What
would you want the government to do?
Now, you remember when I played you that particular tape on ideological subversion? Let me bring it back in, and then we will go back into our slide. You've seen the Ugandan case. You've now seen the Nigerian case. Let me bring back that videotape on ideological subversion.
Ideological subversion, that is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of...
It takes between 10 to 15 years to educate one generation. Now, 15 to 20 years to educate one generation. Now, imagine from 1999, when Olusegun Obasanjo became president of the country, hoping things will change for the better. 1999 to 2024, how many years? We're looking at 25 years. 25 solid years. "25 solid years." And what have they done? They destroyed education. Nigeria was completely demoralized. Nigerians cannot think on their own feet. Nigerians were bastardized. Did you get that? Bastardized. Look at exactly what demoralization has done to Nigeria. Look at what ideological subversion has done to Nigeria. Watch this.
What's up, bro? Congratulations. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Ebeba Itikena.
So, say as this partner like this, sharply. What department are you?
ITS.
In ITS? How many genders do we have?
We have 3.
Name them.
We have, let me see. We have the agenda. We have Faculty of Education. We have
continue. You can never make it.
What's in that body do?
Sha, I've mentioned one.
So what's your gender?
Let me see.
A graduate, university graduate.
Is for me to graduate in this school, and also for me to do well in my excellence.
Think about your life.
What's your gender?
Agenda is for someone to do well in his or her career.
You're supposed to be a dinner man, serving dinner to the students in the secondary school.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
In this school, what's your gender?
To achieve my goals.
What?
To achieve my goal.
What's the phone number?
Tell me more about your gender.
One eternity later.
Tell me about your gender.
To achieve my goals now, that is why I'm here.
Get out. Come on here, beg. Go again.
What's about you?
I'm in post science.
Post science. In post science, what's your gender?
My gender is to know about how politics is going around the society.
Jesus is Lord. What do me like this?
Okay, so what's your best gender?
My best gender is like.
These are graduates from a Nigerian university.
Politics doing in the community, like doing in the society, like, to help the less privileged one in the country, not only those big politicians eating the money.
You get money where you won't carry enter. What is gender?
Like a gender is what it suggests. Like what it suggests, that is a gender. Like what I know, like what it suggests.
Come on, get top from that. So like how many gender do we have in this school?
We have many. We have many, but I don't know.
Name like two gender you have in this school.
My one gender is to graduate as a good best graduating student in the school. And one of my best gender in the school.
This is on the primary school because this university, this guy don't spoil them. What department are you in?
I'm in human kinetics.
In human kinetics, how many genders do we have?
We have 14 genders.
Tell me some of the genders you have there.
Okay, I don't know how to mention them.
You don't know why.
No, you have how many genders there?
We have 14.
Now go just mama, you dey crazy.
My country have education.
In education, how many genders do we have?
In education, I don't think there's any gender in education.
Really? How? Why?
Faculty of Education.
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't heard that one before.
Go read the book in nonsense. Lazy student.
Biology, natural and applied science.
In biology, how many genders do we have?
You said?
In biology, how many genders do we have?
Gender. I don't know.
Biology student doesn't know what gender is.
I don't know.
Are you not in biology?
Biology graduate.
I'm in biology.
So in biology, how many genders do you have?
Gender. Like what gender? I don't understand.
How many genders are there in biology?
Gender. I don't know about this. I don't have any experience about it.
There you go. Idiot. Wrong. Idiot. How many genders do we have in theater art?
We are plenty.
What?
Just name like two genders in theater art.
Annabelle, Christabel, Deborah, Flora.
Banana bread. So what's your best gender in theater art?
Flora.
Okay, what is gender?
I don't know. I think your I don't know.
You don't know nothing, man. What department are you in?
I'm in G&C, Ghana and Counseling.
G&C. How many genders do we have in G&C?
How many?
Genders do we have in G&C?
About four of them I know.
Name like two genders in your department.
Two genders in the department, the course we are doing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Edu 111. We have PS 111. We also have GC 111 and the Dr. Professor Wachku, Professor Nero, and Professor. About three professors. I don't really know their names.
What's your best gender?
My best is Dr. Wachku.
Let nobody put my name for this nonsense. So.
What is gender?
My cabinet stay for now. Yeah, it is full.
So all the better girls who food at school, I don't see anyone. Which department?
Computer science.
For computer science, what's your gender?
Male.
What department are you in?
Accounting.
In accounting, how many genders do we have?
Two genders. Two genders.
Okay, explain.
A gender is as in male or female, so we have two genders.
Oh!
Really?
Yes.
Guys, ideological subversion, demoralization. All those graduates you see chunked out from a university in Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, I believed those were graduates from the University of Port Harcourt in Rivers State. They are under 25. Under 25. So between 1999 count from 1999 when Olusegun Obasanjo became president. 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 10, 12, 13, 14. 1999 to 2014. (1999 to 2014), a sovereign state of Nigeria. They've demoralized their own children through education, ideological subversion. Because it takes 10 to 15 years to destroy an education through ideological subversion. Am I really making sense? All of you. Guys, share it. Anibolaji, what a waste of young generation, a graduate for that matter. Anibolaji, you said, oh my God, this is very shameful. Nigeria, oh. Omolara Omibeku Orowale, you said yes. And again, you're home. Not many people are looking at the question of Nigeria as a sovereign state as an internationally recognized government that provides public services and police power and has the right to make treaties with other countries, wage war, and take other actions on behalf of its people. So the other actions that Nigerian government as a sovereign state waged over its own people is through ideological subversion, killing the educational system from 1999 to 2014. Am I making sense? To those of you that's been on the stream, you're not looking at it that way, aren't you? You are not. A sovereign state such as Nigeria, sovereignty meaning that no other state should have power over the country's territory. We're talking about Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. Sovereignty. Meaning that no other state should have power over the country's territory. Now, a sovereign state, Nigeria, with still that question mark as a sovereign state. Many geographic entities have some, but not all the qualities that make up a sovereign state. Geographic entities. And that geography is in underline and in red. Nigeria with a big question attached to it. And when you look at the map of that Nigeria that you were looking at, geographic entities. So the British, they created 3 different regions: Western region, Eastern region, and Northern region. So those 3 entities are geographic entities. The 3 main geographic entities in Nigeria: West, East, and North. So together, those 3 geographical entities that made up Nigeria became a sovereign state. Am I making sense? Let's do it this way. Rashid Atolagbe Aro said they are half-baked graduates. Again, Omolara Omibeku Urowale, you said, Yoasa, what is the best solutions for this ideology saga? Guys, you are not sharing this stream. And this could be a game changer for a lot of people. I said game changer. Many people are not aware of the devastation that's been inflicted on them. Let's move on. Now, I'm now coming back to Taiwo Banuso's comment. See, the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo even questioned Nigeria as a sovereign state. And from Awolowo's quote of 1947, Awolowo said, Nigeria is not a nation. That's why I said Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. 1947. 1947. $77 ago. 77 years ago. I was not even born. I was still in heaven. But my parents were. And they were alive to witness that quote. And the quote is still very relevant today, 77 years ago, when Awo said, Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. Again, geographical is underlined and in red. Geographical expression. There are no Nigerians. No Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigeria is a mere distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within, guess what, the boundaries of Nigeria and those who do not. Appellation in gray, underlined. Distinguish, underlined. Distinctive, also in gray, underlined. Boundaries, underline. 77 years ago, Awolowo made it known to Nigerians that Nigeria is not a nation. And that's why I keep asking, Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. But here, 77 years ago, in 1947, Awolowo made us realize that Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. That there are no Nigerians, and up till today, there are no Nigerians. I'm not flipping proud as a Nigerian. Those days were gone. I'm a very proud blue blood conservative Yoruba man. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigeria is a mere underscore distinctive underscore appellation to underscore distinguish those who live within the boundaries underscore of Nigeria and those who do not. Wow. 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 Is this not interesting? We're still going a lot deeper. You see, let's take those individual underscored and underlined words one by one. Let's take them one by one. Okay? That word taken from Awo's quote in 1947, 77 years ago. The word distinctive. What does distinctive means? It means having a quality or characteristics that makes a person or thing different from the others. Distinctive. Awolowo used that poisonous word in his quote. Let's come back to that quote. Distinctive. The word Nigeria is a mere distinctive. And that same word, distinctive, means having a quality or characteristics that makes a person or thing different from the others. Now, are the Yorubas not different from the Igbos? In the East, are the Yorubas not different from the Hausa Fulani in the northern region? Are the Igbos from the eastern region not different from the Yorubas in the western region? We're distinctive people. And Awo used that description. There, the word Nigeria is a mere distinctive. That's why I said it's really, we're now going a lot more deeper and deeper. You've seen that word, distinctive. Let's go into the next word, appellation. From Awo's quote. The word appellation, a name or title, the action of giving a name to someone or something. The word, I told you, underscore those very potent words from Awo's quote. The word Nigeria is a mere distinctive appellation. Now you know the differences between distinctive and now the second one, the second potent word, appellation. That means Nigeria is a name or title. The British, they've given Nigeria that name to Nigeria to bear. The British then combed together the Yorubas and other tribal nations and molded them up into one. So Nigeria is just a name or a title, and it was an action dedicated by the British through colonization. And they never did it alone, because don't forget the 369. Never forget that 369. 3 completed cycle of 60 years in location 9. The name Nigeria, when it is completely decoded, is 9. As I've trashed previously. 369. That is the code, secretly vibrating over that country. Appellation. The name or title given to Nigeria. Handed down. Forced on the throat of those they merged together. What about the word distinguish? The word distinguish is to recognize or treat someone or something as different from the others. The word distinguish is to recognize or treat someone or something as different from the others. So the Yorubas were treated differently. But then the British recognized the fact that they have to treat and bundle all of us together. See, "77 years ago, Nigeria is not a nation by Owl. It is a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same way as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigeria is a mere distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria and those who do not." Okay, Nigeria. Is Nigeria a nation? What is a nation? Nations, I'm asking question. Is Nigeria a nation? But what is a nation? Nations, a nation, they are culturally homogeneous group of people who share a common language, institution, religion, and or historical experience. Some nations of the world are sovereign states, but many are not. Remember, Awolowo's quote, "Nigeria is not a nation, but a mere geographical expression." And here, a nation, nations are culturally homogeneous group of people who share a common language, institution, religion, and or historical experience. Now, is Yoruba race a nation? The Yorubas, are they supposed to be a nation on their own right, based on the definition of a nation? Culturally homogeneous people, groups of people. The Yorubas, do they share the same thing culturally? The answer is yes. The Yorubas, do they share the same cultural values and traits with the Igbos? The answer is no. The Yorubas, do we share the same cultural homogeneous things culturally with the Hausa Fulani people? No. The answer is no. Do we share a common language with the Igbo people? The answer is no. What about the Hausa Fulani people? The answer is no. What about our institutions? The answer is no. Religion, with our own traditional beliefs. I'm not talking about Islam or Christianity. Do we share the same beliefs in terms of religion before Christianity and Islam was shoved up into our throats? The answer is no. What about historical experience? Do we share it with the Igbos or the Efiks or the Kalabari or the Hausa Fulani people? Again, the answer is no. So when we don't share things in common in terms of culture, the people, the language, the institution, and the religion, is Nigeria a nation? Now you are beginning to see why Awolowo said it, that Nigeria is not a nation. It is just a mere geographical expression. I'm disturbing your brain. Beams, good evening. I'm disturbing your brain now. Ain't I? Am I? Oh dear. Can you see that clearly? Nigeria, between a state, a nation, and a country. If this is your first time joining me on this live stream, please don't forget to give us that thumb up, like, subscribe, and share the stream. This could be a game changer for some people. This is NuMedia TV in London.
TV in London.
Yes, you are welcome back. Don't tell me I'm messing up your brain. I'm not. And the question is Syria a nation? Or a state? Or a country? Now you are beginning to see the picture now that nations are culturally homogeneous people, groups of people who share a common language. Do we share the same language with the Igbos or the Efik or the Calabars or the Calabaris? The answer is no. Do we share the same common language? The answer is no. Do we share the same institution? The answer is no. Do we share the same religious beliefs? The answer is no, minus Christianity and Islam. Because Christianity and Islam are the two religions that were used as a weapon, destabilized the Yoruba race. And I mean it. And I don't want anybody to convince me otherwise. No, I hate to be corrected. And I don't want anybody to please correct me. See, I hate to be corrected, and I don't want anybody to correct me that I am wrong. Watch this. A nation is a group of people with a common language, history, culture, and usually geographic territory. You see, I underline in red language, in blue underline history, and in magenta underline geography, and in a shallow green, geographic territory, geographic underline. We have not shared the same language with any other parts of the country. The Yorubas are a unique and distinctive tribe. Is Nigeria a nation? Question. Nigeria is not a nation. The Yorubas are supposed to be a nation of their own, because they are a group of people within that boundary of Nigeria that speaks one common language, the Yoruba language, who shared the same ancestral history, culture, food, and usually geographic territory. The British marked it down. That's why the British created Western region, Eastern region, and Northern region. Am I making sense? Or I'm blaspheming? Now, look at this. Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. Look at this. Is Nigeria a nation? A state is an association of people characterized by formal institutions of government, including laws, permanent territorial boundaries, and sovereignty. And they refer to this as political independence. Nigeria, a British figment of imagination and creation. That is the best description I can give. British figment of imagination and creation that became political independence in 1960. So when we look at Nigeria as a state, so it is a combined association of different people characterized by formal institutions of government. That's why I said Nigeria was a figment of imagination by the British establishment, and it became a permanent territorial boundaries, and then became a sovereign nation, a sovereign state. Sovereign state. You got it? What about a state nation? Have you heard of a state nation? A state nation may comprise one or more nations A state nation may comprise one or more nations, and a nation may be represented in one or more states. Is Nigeria a nation state? So that means three main nations: Western region, Eastern region, and Northern region, made up exactly what is known as the geographical expression called Nigeria. And Nigeria is that state nation that represents other nation inside a state nation to now form one single nation. And that single nation, that all the three nations combined, then became nation state. Don't tell me I'm twisting or disturbing your brain. You see all those Yoruba agitators? They need to learn this. That's why it will be very, very difficult. Very difficult. This time. Very difficult to get that Yoruba nation, because the mistakes, the fraud, and the deception inside Yoruba agitation messed up everything. They saw a nation as a milk money making machine. The creation of Nigeria and the struggle for independence were fought on a debate and presentations. See? What about sovereign states? Many entities have geographical and cultural significance, and many of the qualities of a sovereign state, but are not independent sovereign states. Did you get sovereign states? We're talking about sovereign states now. So many entities have geographical and cultural significance. Let's look back into the map in front of you. Western region, Eastern region, Northern region. Many entities have geographical and cultural significance. So Western region, we've got our own geographical and cultural significance. We've got our qualities to be a sovereign state. But Western region is not independent sovereign states. The Yorubas are not independent sovereign states. We're supposed to be a sovereign state, but we are not. And for us to get that independent involved a lot of brain work and brain tasking exercise. It is not through the barrel of the gun. No. No. See, sovereign states, as of year 2020, there are 195 sovereign states in the world. And when we talk about sovereign state, well, those 195 sovereign states in the world, we're talking about those states that are independent states across the world. And when we look at that definition, we're looking at how it was defined by the Bureau of Intelligence and Research of the United States Department of State on the 27th of March 2019. Am I making sense? Or still disturbing your brain? Nigeria between a state, a nation, and a country. Okay. What about non-sovereign states? Non-sovereign states are territories of sovereign states, but they are not sovereign states in their own rights. So the Yorubas, Western region, can be considered as a non-sovereign state because Western region is in a territory called Nigeria in a sovereign state. So, and as such, Western region is not a sovereign state in its own right. And by the same definition, many entities have most of the qualities of sovereign state, such as Yoruba land, but are officially considered to be non-sovereign. I've talked about how we share the same cultural values, histories, territories, language, institutions, and so on. Many have their own histories. Many of the non-sovereign states, such as Yoruba nation, Yoruba people are supposed to be a nation of their own rights. But we are trapped inside a nation state. As Yorubas, we have our own history, and we even have our own languages. Examples. What are these examples? Let's bring in those examples so that you can see yourself. Let me see. Non-sovereign states. The examples: states that are supposed to be sovereign states, but they are non-sovereign states. Hong Kong, Bermuda, Greenland, Puerto Rico, even Northern Ireland, Wales. Northern Ireland is supposed to be a sovereign state, but it is non-sovereign. Wales is supposed to be a sovereign state, but it is non-sovereign states. Scotland is supposed to be a state, but it is non-sovereign state. England is supposed to be a sovereign state, but it is non-sovereign state. Do you know why Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England are not sovereign? Because Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England are parts of the United Kingdom. And United Kingdom is a sovereign state. What about nations? Nations are culturally homogeneous group of people who share a common language, like I said, institution, religion, and historical experience. And typical example of nations that shares the same language, institution, religion, and historical experience, the Yorubas. Some nations, like the Southwest Zone in Nigeria, are sovereign states, but many are not. In addition to what I may describe as nations that are non-sovereign states, I noted it that it can be argued that some nations govern no territory at all. Again, as an example, the Yoruba people are supposed to be nation, but they can't govern themselves. The Sindhi, the Rohingya, and the Igbo people when you look at those nations, they share histories, culture, and languages, but they have no territory of theirs. And in conclusion, I said some states have two nations. Some states have two nations. And I give example as Canada and Belgium. Canada is another two nations. The French and the English. Same in Belgium. I've messed up your brain today. Have I? 2 hours and 20 minutes. Let me seize this opportunity as we bring the stream to an end to thank each and every one of you that tune in to watch today's podcast. And what we've just discussed and I've trashed out with you is Nigeria between a state, nation, and country. And I think I've actually buttressed my argument. The Yoruba agitators, maybe this is food for thought for a handful of them. And you know what I want to conclude? I am in to take back Nigeria back to the 1963 regional formation. And I think the man that can do it right now is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He never believed in one Nigeria too. He never believed. And right now, I don't even believe in one Nigeria. Now, let me, before we round up, I've got a couple of tapes to play for you. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, my brothers and sisters from Enugu State, I beg, please, make una help me tag the governor of Enugu State, because I don't understand what is happening in Centenary, guys. This is my house that I built. I know they do Yahoo, I know they fit come investigate, I know they do Yahoo, I suffer every blessed day. You understand? To make my money. You understand? This is the house I do in Centenary. Everything I bought the land, everything is documented, everything been here. I went to Lagos State. I came back. This is what I saw. Removed by. This is it. And this was the gate. 12th. This was on the 12th.
On the 12th.
You understand?
Today is
19th. They came to Sentinel. I was sleeping. My boy have to wake me up and say, "Oh, they don't destroy houses." So, if you, let me show you around, guys. They destroyed all the houses. Look at. This is people's investment. Look at. See, and every house in Centenary is damaged.
Every house.
Show them around.
Every house. Guys, we are just begging. We dey beg the government.
Please,
if you have any
pass this
contact with the
message
government,
to the government.
I beg. His document, everything is
all
the documents is complete.
This is my house in
he buy am. I beg.
Please, because they came here, they were trying to destroy my house. They can't even carry caterpillar come. They want to come.
I beg.
You understand? I'm just saying this so that the governor of Enugu State can see. I beg. I don't do any bad thing. Get money, build house.
If you can share this video, God will bless you.
Please share this
high
video.
Blood. I don't feel they wake up every morning. They worry about your health. Please, I'm begging you.
I beg.
I'm begging you.
The people invest. More leave Lagos. Can't invest for home.
We don't leave Lagos.
We leave Lagos. They came to Enugu State to invest. This is our place.
Of mind.
We were born in Enugu State.
What's the land?
We were born in Enugu State.
No peace of mind.
Please.
No peace of mind.
I beg.
If you move round, they don't scatter everywhere. They don't scatter everywhere, guys. If you go round, they don't scatter everywhere. Caterpillar is entering everywhere.
Follow me. Everywhere in Centenary, they destroyed more than 200 houses in Enugu State today. Please, come, follow me. Oh God.
No peace of mind. There's no peace. For the past how many days, we like security posts with the day so that we can beg.
Look at it.
So that we can beg.
Look at it.
This is a place I nearly paid for.
Enugu State government. Pitamba, I beg. We do respect, boss. I beg. This message is for you. I beg. Now my only house be this for Enugu State.
I beg.
I beg.
I beg.
You understand? Okay, make I come on closely. I beg. Now my house for Enugu State be this. I don't get another house.
If there's anything we have to pay.
If there is anything where we go pay.
May they know.
I beg.
This is full-time sweat. This is full-time song. Now when I be fast, now when I see the video.
Please share this video. All my Igbo brothers, I beg. Igbo brothers and sisters, where una dey, I beg. I need una now. Enugu State, I beg. Centenary, my house for Centenary.
Guys, if you go around,
they destroyed all the houses. Every house.
No sleep. Nobody will sleep.
Only God intervention. If not my house, we don't go today. I beg. I God that they use God. I beg that they use God beg our governor.
To every single person seeing this video and you have the governor's contact, share this video, I beg. Call them.
Look at how they destroy. Let me show you. Let me show you. Please, the governor, I beg. Show them this one. Zoom and show them that one. Yeah, this house, please. Come and show them.
Everything was left.
Come and show them.
If we see things like this, how our own go take this safe? How our own
see
go
my
take
house
this safe?
here. They destroy a house, the next house.
How our own go take this safe? To every single person watching this video, do good to share this video. I beg, more than tag the governor for this video. Tag him as many times as possible.
I don't understand what's happening in Centenary. I hear that there were a lot of arguments and fights, but I beg. We came here because we can't stay in Lagos. You understand? Lagos, you know, they say more come house, come invest. Now why we are here? You understand? You know if you pursue us like that. I beg. They never touch and boss, but I beg and they beg you. Please do justice to this. The governor, I beg.
If there's anything you guys want us to pay, the right authority should message who pay it. Who pay it, I beg.
So
It's heartbreaking. The person wants to calculate how much don't drop down today. Now billions.
That's right.
Billions. You don't proud finish say you don't achieve something. You don't achieve something in less than how many hours it's on the ground. How you want to start again? This land now don't condemn. There's no how you want to which engineer, which architect won't do any work with this place again. Nothing is down, is gone.
Nigeria. You see that? Now, Igbo people cannot even support their own. Biafran people are just looking. IPOB, Simon Ekpa, all of them. You see them? Lagos. These are the same Igbo people that said Lagos is no man's land. Even in their own Enugu state. Biafrans, look at the way you are treating your own people. At least Enugu is not part of Yoruba land. We know that. But you are not complaining, as your own governor is in Enugu state is destroying his fellow Igbo man's house. But if na Lagos, na so on a good day, blah 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 blah. Not be so. You'll be blah 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 blah. Lagos is no man's land. But you cannot even curb or control your own and help your own people. You can't. Guys, let me seize this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for coming in today to join me on this stream. Today is Sunday, the 21st day of January 2024. Thank you so much. I salute each and every one of you. I hope to see you very soon. What we've treated today is Nigeria between a state, nation, and a country. Which of them? You can clearly see. Thank you all, and we hope to do it again. Like us from whichever of the pages. Follow us. And then on YouTube, if you prefer the YouTube, just subscribe and click the bell icon to get alerted anytime we post a new video. Let's bring the stream to an end, and until next time, take good care of yourself. We're going into a new week. It is my prayers that God will open doors of opportunity and favor for all of you, my avid fans and viewers across the whole world. Until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I hope to see you soon. Good night, and God bless you.